Hey, this is Dennis Looney at Anthem Films. Check us out at anthemfilms.com. Today we're going to learn about creating stacks in Leopard, a new feature that comes in Leopard. A lot of you may know about this already, but I was over at the Apple store the other day and saw a pretty cool implementation of using stacks in order to keep all of your Final Cut Studio applications all in one area without cluttering up the rest of your dock. Which is a little ironic for me to give a tutorial on how to keep your dock from being cluttered when I've got 5 million icons on my dock as it is. But you'll see after we do this presentation here that you will find out just how easy it is to create a stack, put all your program files into the stack, and clean up your dock a little bit. Plus, it's just pretty cool to have something like this. As you can see, what we got here is a folder that has the Final Cut Studio packaging on it. You click on that folder and then pops open all of your applications, including Final Cut, DVD Studio, Color, and such. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to create a stack, and we're going to learn how to change icons in order to give you that cool little feature here. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to launch your applications folder, and we're going to create a new folder. In this case, we'll create a new folder. We're going to call it Final Cut Studio. All right, now the first thing we need to do is we need to move your miscellaneous programs into the Final Cut Studio folder. And first of all, so that we can kind of start from scratch, let's go ahead and remove this Final Cut Studio folder out of the dock just by lifting it up. Poof, up in smoke it goes, and we got to start all over from scratch. So the first thing we did is create a Final Cut Studio folder. Now we need to get your programs into it from Final Cut Studio. So we got Cinema Tools, we'll drag that in there. Color, get that in there. Actually, why don't we do this? Why don't we go to Compressor? There it is. Okay, we got Compressor. We got DVD Studio Pro. We'll go ahead and click them this way. Final Cut Pro. Then we got Live Type floating around here somewhere. There we are, Live Type. You guys are all probably seeing this faster than I am. Motion, we know is hiding around here somewhere. There it is, Motion. And Soundtrack Pro. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag all of these at one time into our new Final Cut Studio folder. And boom, there you go. So if we click Open Final Cut Studio, sure enough, there are all of our applications for Final Cut Studio. But I could drag that down right now over to the dock so you could see how this thing works. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. I would just drag that down, populate it right here, boom, there you go. And it's pretty much the same scenario that I had before. But there's one difference here, and that's that this application has come up with whatever the first item is that you put in the bin. Actually, whatever the lowest alphabetical item is. In this case, it's Cinema Tools. What you need to do here is you right-click or control-click, and you're going to go to change this to folder rather than stack. When you change to folder, you see that the folder itself now is represented by the folder icon that we have right here. What we're going to do here is we're going to add the Final Cut Studio icon. Not a whole lot of people are aware that this can be done, but that's how all these things are made. They're actually put in with a process similar to what I'm going to teach you right now. First thing we're going to do is we need to open this up with Get Info. Here's the trick to changing the icons. This right here represents your icon. And you can see there's two states for this. There's off and then there's on with the little glow feature that you've got going here. Glow is what we want. Okay, so we'll leave it off for a second. What we're going to do now is we're going to come over here and we're going to grab this ping file that I actually pulled from the internet. Technically it was a JPEG file, but I took it into Photoshop and gave it some transparency so that we could avoid what we're about to see right here. So what we're going to do is we can copy this icon, and we can come over here, make sure that's in its on state, and we can paste it in, just like that. Now I could use that as the new folder, and to show you what that does, let's remove this out of here. Let me start this over. And I want to bring this down. You will now see, when we change this back to a folder, that it now does indeed have the product box, but has a white background, which I don't think is half as cool as having one that's transparent. So there's a workaround for this. What you need to do is take that same ping file and you are going to open it with Preview. And in Preview, there it is right there. you can go ahead, edit, copy. I imagine Apple C works as well. Now you come back over, do the same thing I showed you before, click on your icon. I just deselected it. Watch how the glow comes back when I click it again. And your right button isn't going to work well because it will deselect and doesn't give you a paste option anyway. So make sure it's selected. Go to Edit, Paste, and now you're going to see that you have your Final Cut Studio box without the background on it. You've kept all the transparency in it. Now you can just drag your box down here, your folder. Let's try it again. Note that you do have to go on the side of this little right stair step thing, which is what resizes your dock. Again, our Cinema tools came up first. We want to right click or control click, change that to folder. Now you've got this pretty cool Final Cut Studio stack, and you can feel free to remove any of your Final Cut Studio applications from your dock, keeping everything real close right where you need it. And you just select any of these and you are good to go. So that's basically it. That's Stacks from OSX 10.5 Leopard, and a cool way to use your Final Cut Studio applications in Stacks. That's it for the moment. I will see you all soon. Be sure to check us out at anthemfilms.com. I'm Dennis Looney. We'll talk to you later.